now for riding around in that goddamn tank.
Shit,
Yeah,
what
I
you
know
mean?
that bit. Would that be like 11 miles per gallon, 20-gallon tank?
No, man, I'm telling you, Jesus blessed that vehicle, my boy. 65, 70 at the most to fill it. That's if I got it on E. And I'm a roll for a week. If I keep it player, if I be all over the place, I might be in trouble.
Mm. Uh,
I'm telling you now. I think when we went to Orlando, man, I ain't even crack a tank on that thing, man. Listen, man.
and they got a hybrid. You call
You better know it. Hey, listen, you better know it.
hey, boy.
With them things on it, because I'm from
Okay.
down south.
In this fucking hybrid, you call. Hello. Good evening. Good night. And good morning. Hi, tonight I will be serving as host of the Black Super Friends podcast. This is a show that has now been well revered and renowned for dialogue that has been life changing for some, provocative. We've been called the Kevin Samuelites. We've been called a lot of stuff, man. But I know one thing that I would like to call it ministry. All right. First off, after a long weekend, that I really it was a good weekend, man. It was a good weekend for some. It was a good weekend for a lot of people. But every given Sunday, any given Sunday, things happen. So, with that being said, I'm going to introduce the man who is still wearing the star of the Dallas Cowboys. You had an interesting weekend, Super Mario Senior.
No, I had a total butt whooping of a weekend, and that's all I can say. Well, I started off pretty 50-50. Colorado took the butt whooping. I never this weekend. Let me just say this: I've seen some whoopings like I never seen before.
Yeah.
I've seen some whoopings like I've never seen before. But Florida State won, so I'm gonna hang my hat on that. Even though we keep dropping in the polls, no pause, and the Cowboys will be back.
He started early.
They're gonna be back for another game this week. Hey, um, with that being said, we will get to sports in a second because it's an interesting weekend. I know somebody who's been used to losing for 40 years, has something to cheer about. It really made my soul. I really read my Bible because to see the Miami Dolphins win and win by a large percentage like that, it just troubled my spirit and made me believe that we are in the end times. Even the people in the Miami Dolphins stadium were surprised. They were shocked. And we do want to send out a prayer to Russell Wilson, the quarterback for the Denver Broncos, that somehow he gets that Sierra curse off of him and flourish. LL Cool J.
My brother. Well, I've been telling y'all for quite some time, but I'll save it for right now.
You
I
will.
will say Florida State. We know Florida State. I love that school. They do me proud every Saturday. I'm like Mario though. I don't understand why we keep dropping though, but that's college. That's how it goes. We didn't put a shellacking on them, so we slip in the polls. I was saddened that BC, sorry about that, the Buffalo. I did some BCU.
Well,
Yeah, Colorado, the Buffaloes, man. I was hoping, but I also knew who Oregon was, so it is what it is. Can't win them all. But my Dolphins, man, I keep telling y'all, Dolphins, baby, we did a thing. Dropped a
Yeah.
70 spot. If you listen to he said a 70 spot.
Right.
Broke like 3 records, man. And
Right.
that's
It's just the introductions, eh?
hey
All
man,
right.
shut your ass up when I'm talking about my Dolphins, man. 3 records.
Enough already.
Say nothing
All
when I
right.
talk about your beloved Tom Brady. 3 records yesterday, man. They did their
Man,
thing. Miami, Florida boy.
listen, don't you talk about Tom Brady, man, as the face of an angel, okay? He's the greatest quarterback of all time, and he will be respected, okay? Next, we're going to the man who got the team that might win it all this year. They come close. no cigars. But this year, I think they undefeated, and that's the talk of the town. Chris Leo represents the San Francisco 49ers.
Well, I wouldn't say we are the talk of the town. I think that we are precedent again, but this is not enough of us. We done had for the last 5 seasons, we done had pretty good seasons. So, and just like to reiterate that my Super Bowl pick predictions was 49ers and Dolphins. So I'm just throwing it out there.
All right. Well, you had half positive, half negative. I would not ever in my life support the Dolphins. Somebody asked me to go to a Dolphins game this Sunday. I said I won't pay for it. I won't be in those seats. That's how dedicated my hate is to the Miami Dolphins. But I do want to say this to you guys and form it into a question somehow. This weekend, Florida State wins, so we're happy about that. Colorado, the most watched team this college season, took their first loss against Oregon. Now, what was interesting about that conversation, we all say it's really not about the team, it's more about Deion. People have a problem with his bravado, his his swagger. They say he's what's the word? Conceited. He's arrogant. All kind of stuff you heard about Coach Deion. What did make me laugh today is uh, Colorado without their star player Travis Hunter. How Keyshawn Johnson today came onto a show and talked about how all these coaches collectively helped Oregon's coach to put together a game plan against Deion. So it's amazing to see a new coach get this much attention and get so much. I don't even know what the word I want to use for that. But Chris Leo said it about 2 weeks ago, like, "Hey, we're all cheering for Coach Prime." But what happens when he takes a loss, or maybe encounters another loss, or things don't go as planned? We tend to build people up and ride the wave, and then we be right there to slam them down when things don't go right. Chris Leo, what's your take about this weekend from college to the NFL?
For one, I hate to be the one to say I told you so, but I did tell you so. I knew it was gonna be like this once he did what he did lose. They reel you up, and they have just as much fun bringing you down. Sir Isaac Newton's third law is for every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. And like I said before, for all the greatness and all the attention and all the electricity that Deion brings to college football and especially Colorado Buffaloes, the opposite reaction is negativity, and that's throughout college football. Like I said, that Travis Hunter's hit before on this last show, I said that was meant for Deion. Everything was the effect from Deion is this: they're going to get the best team possible to play in them every Saturday. That's why you get a Colorado State that's not as better than is not as good as them, but take them to do the 2 overtimes. That's why you get a Oregon that's better than them and will not let off the gas on them because of the effect of Deion. So, but we in the pre-show we was talking about flipping. I don't know if that's exactly what we're seeing. What I think we're seeing is when you're winning, your supporters are loud, and when you lose, your detractors, it's their turn to be loud. And I think that's what we're seeing now. That you're going to get some hate, but what I don't want us to do is not be fair to criticism against Deion and the Colorado Buffaloes. What I'm saying is this: yes, you are outmatched or whatever, but I didn't see any offensive adjustments. I don't know. You guys know more about football than me, I think, but normally when you are bullied at the line, what you would do is you would go out in the spread formation, get the ball out of your quarterback hands, who's been sacked more than any other quarterback in college football. Get it out of his hands, get it to your playmakers, get them boys in space. Because when they're big on the line, when you spread them out, they have to bring another nickel cornerback in that takes away a linebacker, that makes it that rush is really just 4-man. Your line should be able to contain 4 men for 2 to 3 seconds, which is the West Coast offense. Now, again, I'm not a football coach, and I'm speaking from a Monday night quarterback stance, but I don't know. I mean, I support Deion all the way, but what we're going to start to see is Deion really a quality head coach in the on this level, and I look forward to seeing that as the season play out.
Listen, I think Deion is already, if we were to go to modest route, I think Deion has already surpassed what goals people should have expected from him, coming from a team that was 11, 1 and something last year. But to your point, I will say this: criticism is fair because I played ball, and me and Mario talked about this yesterday. To your point, when you go into a big game like that, I thought maybe it was inexperience. You want to go into a game with more than one scheme. Just like in basketball. Hey, this didn't work. Let's try this. Hey, this didn't work. We're going to go to that. Just having different looks to make the defense adjust. I think that he was yesterday, like he was consistent on trying to establish that offense that he had. And me looking at a line that doesn't have good protection and probably outman, I will build up one side and pass from that side. Like, hey, I'm going to put my two strongest people, 3 people here on this right side. And, know I'm going to have some blitz coming from that way. But I'm still cheering for him. I think what his impact has been great for college football. I just was interested to see all the people that actually root against him. Even it ain't a color thing. I've seen black people like, oh, how y'all love this, and it got to be interesting. So I wanted to keep it sports and keep it that way. Super Mario Senior.
Y'all said some interesting stuff. First, I agree with a lot of what y'all said, but I want to always preference the hate and the entitlement. This was the perfect storm. I think that like a lot of people was waiting for Deion to lose, but then for him to get blowed out was like the icing on the cake. So even when Chris alluded to the detractors talking, you not only gave them something to talk about, you gave them something to jump up and down, flip, and scream about. And I think that is the polar opposite of what Deion is. I think his gift and his curse is what he does so good is galvanize audiences and impede faith into his team. So he speaks life into his team. Deion played football and sports at the highest level. He understands sports at the highest level. Right now, he's a motivational speaker and a father. He understood going into Colorado. He have done right now more than what anybody expected him to do that knew football. See, most of the people that expected Deion to keep winning were just on the ride for the faith, for him, because they love him. He got galvanized by his speeches. But if you understand football, you understand they're going to go on a 4-game losing streak. Facts. This is what I'm saying. But you can't talk about that. It's almost like that Republican and Democrat thing, because if you're black, you talk about that up. And it's the way you talk about it, though. I've been seeing a lot of people that's happy. See, it's a difference in understanding that, yeah, this is football. Deion was hyped up, but due to nothing had nothing to do with football. But to see the people that are excited about him losing, and it's Colorado. I've seen Florida Gator fans excited. SEC has nothing to do with Colorado. I've seen Florida State fans excited. Has nothing to do with Colorado. I've seen, if you're not in the Pac-12, I don't understand why you're so excited that Deion is losing, except for his hate. The third thing is Chris brought up, but that's why I was in it, but Chris made up some good points. And Horace about schemes, right? This is the saddest thing. Chris alluded to this, and this is the point that I want people to understand. He's exactly right. The way you beat aggressive defense is spread them out and throw short, quick passes to get your ball up out of the quarterback's hand. Slants, outs, that's the way you beat it. Because, this is the caveat, Chris said, your line should be able to hold up. This is what happens when you have fullback split alignment. Me and Horace talked about this at the beginning of the show. As soon as he got there, I said, Deion line is undersized by 100 pounds. What you saying is this. 3. They rushed 3 with Oregon and got him sacked. Bruh, if you can rush 3 and get to the quarterback, it's nothing you can do. Like, so even when I know what Horace was saying, they didn't have but if you know football, what could I call? If you can rush 3, now you in a dime. You blanketed. There's nowhere to throw. So right now, I don't care what you do. There's nowhere to throw. The safety out there, you got 2 high safeties. It's done. You got a blanket out there because you can rush 3 and still get pressure. That's when Deion knew it was over. At that point, he just trying not to show. He just trying to tell everybody, you know what?
Same face.
Don't give up. This is the adversity, and don't show breaking down. Look at the sideline. Let's go back and look at that play, bro. Once you see consistently his son get up off the ground off a version 3, what could I do? There's nothing I can call that y'all ain't gonna do. So I think that overall it was sad to see because I watched and I looked and I seen people who talked about them losing. Some people saying you shouldn't have expected that, but I seen people like, yeah, that's what they get for talking so much. What? What else is a head coach supposed to do? You do. I don't think people understand. The head coach job is to oversee position coaches, game plan, and motivate the team and keep them engaged. That's his job as a head coach. So because he's the best motivator in the world, I can't believe, dog. If that ain't a hater, I don't know what is. You're happy because a man is doing his job. This is a sad. Go ahead, Zach. I go on and on because I screenshot a lot of jokers, giant turkeys that was happy.
I think you said a lot. You kind of y'all took everything that I was gonna say, which is great because I don't have to say much. But you coined it great. Haters are gonna hate. Chris kept saying from the beginning of the season, what about when he loses? Well, we playing football. You knew that he was gonna lose at some point. Well, Horace alluded to he did. That team did 1-11 last year. So if for anything, he's doing great this year. I don't keep understanding why people don't see that. They came out, they won the first 3 out the gate. That was not the story last year. He's brought in a tremendous amount of revenue, and he got that school up and pumping. If you think back, they didn't even really have the money to pay him for the job. They got more than enough now. So what Hardy was saying is great. He's the greatest motivator in the world. He did exactly what he was supposed to do. Now he got a game plan and change it up a little bit coming forth. But the individuals that flopped, they were going to do that anyway. It was always in them. They were just in it, because they people want to align themselves with winners. Long as you winning, they there. The minute you lose, they do exactly what Chris said. And I knew you were going to lose, and I knew you wasn't all that good and everything and so forth. So to me, I knew this was going to happen. It ain't a big deal. What Hardy also said about the next couple of weeks, they're going to be trying. If he pulls one out, I think they season great. I had them pitched at about 4 games to win this year with the change of staff and coaching. But we'll live to see. If he does get beat, what else did you expect? They went 1-11 last year. But if he wins, let's see how many people try to flop back. But screenshot that too, my brother, when that happened, because those people always respond in life.
I know how it goes.
Yeah. Listen, as much as I talk trash, like I don't hate the dog. Like I've had my, but that's part of our bravado. I talk trash to hate people to my Zay. I know Zay a Dolphin fan or whatnot, right? But it's some people that hate. So I'm talking about that hate be strong, boy. Like, God damn.
This is coming from the man that just 5 minutes ago said that I won't take free seats to a Dolphins game, but never mind.
Even on a winning season.
But I always can say this. Like it's some people who I understand and I embrace the banter and the hate from. Like this is what I do for. Like I posted that today. When a 49ers fan, a Eagles, a Washington, like it's some people from our chemistry, like with the Patriots and the Dolphins. I understand why, like that's what I'm saying. Like it's some people, this is what y'all supposed to do. Y'all supposed to clash area. But if a Cincinnati Bengals person is happy that the Dallas Cowboys lost, I'm like, bro, what the hell is going on in this universe? That's when I lose it. I ain't gonna lie. That's when I lose it on Facebook. The day I had to detox, cause I wanted to come through the screen and punch a couple people because I'm like, this is crazy, bro. You like the Raiders. Why are you happy that the Dallas Cowboys? Like this is insane.
Listen, them damn Dolphins before they got good this year. Once a year, the Dolphins play like the best team every year. That for one game, the Miami Dolphins play like the best team in the universe. And usually it was against my Patriots and Tom Brady. And man, it just was, even the last game with the free flick at the end, I was like, man, just
twice.
Man, bro, it's something about
twice.
Even the 85 Bears lost to the Dolphins. So, it is what it is. Hey, so let me ask y'all something. Well, in any minute, my son is going to do the same thing he did last week and probably walk in the door, interrupt my show. But, to each his own. All of y'all got kids, some more than others. Got a few girl dads on this screen. What trait, and this is something I thought about. So this is something that I thought about the other day, man. Just thinking about my kids. What is something that you possess? What is something about you that you wish that your kids take from you? Like it could be you being funny, it could be your vision, it could be your temper. What's something that you wish your kids carry on, or whether it's a good trait or a bad trait? Name something that you wish that your kids take after you. L Cool Z.
Man, I thought about this. I thought about the entrepreneurial side, and I was like, I'm praying she's a go getter. She's resilient and things like that. But I think most of everything, I just hope she's just genuine. I was thinking about that question because I know you had a C to it where you were talking about which trait you wish that they don't have, and I'm gonna add an addendum to it. I just pray that she don't the heart that I got, man, it cares too much. You know what I'm saying? For the line of work that I am and the individuals that I deal with, I wish I didn't care that much. Everybody always says, Zay, that's what makes you who you are and things like that. But as a man, sometimes I just wish I didn't care as much as I do. But I promise I hope she gets that genuine spirit that I have and just get straight to it.
Super Mario Senior.
You sound like R. Kelly. Remember that in the interview
Whoa.
where they said, what's your
God.
problem? I got a big heart. Somebody need to help me with my big heart because they keep on. I forgot what he said. But that's what he
Hey,
said.
listen. I don't know the hog tie nobody. That's what he said.
Hey
Yeah,
man, I can't take it. Hey, uh, Super Mario, you have two youngsters.
Yeah, I think this question came at a great time. Me dealing with my daughter as she finishing up college. You know what I'm saying? My sons, I don't know what they're gonna take. Hopefully they take everything I got, except for my money. But my daughter, it's a little different. I'm trying to talk to her and grab her more because I want all my kids, but all my kids really, I want them to get the vision I have in life and the ability to understand and see the world for what it is and accept that. I think I always try to look at both sides of the coin when I'm dealing with any situation, and I accept whatever I see and I move off of it. And I think that that's an ability that I'm learning right now that a lot of people don't have, and that a lot of people tend to call me for because I do good or bad, try to look at both sides of the coin and make a decision unemotionally. And I think that I wish, if anything, my kids to get that because actually taking the time to look at the whole picture in life will save you a lot of stress and heartache because you'll be able to make more informed decisions. Not all gonna be right, not all gonna be wrong, but you'll be willing to stand on them or down them, however you take it, because you know you did the best you can with all the stuff that was given to you. So I wish they all to take that, the insight, to look at the inside of life.
All right, right on cue. Chris Leo.
Hello, Kendall. How are you? For me, I would have to say my adaptability and my durability. I would have to say because I've
What's
in my
up?
life in these 40 plus years, man, I have been in positions where I done went down to zero and had to build myself all the way back up. And I like to think that you could put me anywhere and I will be able to survive wherever you put me at. I'll be able to survive and thrive. So I want that to be a trait that my daughter gets, not being fearful to move and go into different areas and not being fearful to challenge herself. I want her to be able to do that. And durability, man. I've been in my life, I've been through a lot. I've lost a mother. I've lost three aunties. I've lost a girlfriend. I've lost countless homeboys, and I'm still here. You know what I'm saying? I don't have the family and parental support of a lot of my peers, but I'm still here. You know what I'm saying? And I've had ups and downs. I'd have been at the top of the mountain, I'd have been at the bottom of it. So what I want for my daughter to be able to be durable, to be able to withstand life's tornadoes and just deal with it and be able to coming out on the other side clean. So if anything, I would want her to have my durability and my adaptability.
All right, you're supposed to add one. Okay.
My bad.
Chris Leo. I went to Zay. I went to
It's on
Mario.
you.
Yeah. Listen, I got three boys, and I thought about it because each one of them are very different, and but all of them I have one thing in common. We're in a generation where these kids just look different. They laid back, chill. It's almost like they live in 90210. Like Kendall is 20 years old. He don't have his license. He Ubers everywhere. He gets Uber Eats food delivered. And I'm thinking in my mind, but we had to hustle to get a meal. I'm talking about, I remember during the summer, we patch up together. Hey, go, let's get a pizza. Hey, it's 39-cent cheeseburger day. So I wanted to say, I want my kids to get the drive. I wanted to be driven. I think these kids have so much opportunity at their fingertips, whether it's high school where they could take dual enrollment and get out and have a career, man. But it's just so many ways for people to make money, and I just want them to probably be a little more driven. I wish they had my drive because I want to say vision, but I think I want them to have that drive. Like, bro, y'all can do anything y'all put your minds to. So I wish they had that because, like I said, generation, man, you can do a lot. And especially all the stuff that we went through collectively, man, like, boy, I just think sometimes in an effort for us to give our kids everything, to have them avoid what we went through, is a kind of like a thin line trying to get them
Yes,
to
it is.
walk there because you be wanting to give them some stuff, but then you really want to see some hunger in them. So it's just tough, man. Yeah.
Well, what I think is this: a parenting tip that I would do on that one. It may not be the same for you right at this point, but I've learned that whatever you want to instill in them, take them along with you and do it. Let them seeing you do this thing. That reinforces it to them. That makes it real to them. Just if you want hard work in them, wake them up at 6 o'clock when you wake up, and take them through a day of what you go through to provide for them, and maybe then they'll get a better perspective on what it takes and the things that you want them to be.
Yeah, we went down that road. I'm hearing the stairs make noise now, so he's coming into the frame in a
Mhm.
minute. So, hey, Chris, after last week, tonight we will start the Chris Leo State of the Union address. And
Mhm.
Chris and production, you listed two topics. And
Yes.
that first topic is what kind of treatment does a good man deserve?
Now, first, I want to say this question was inspired by the Papoose and Remy Ma, um, whatever that is, situation, tobacco, whatever. But it got me to thinking. It's like one thing I hear that pisses me off all the time, but I hear it all the time that women would naturally submit if a man know how to lead, or if they lead the right way or whatever. And I'm trying to think what's the right way, because for the most part, I don't know the inner workings of that relationship, but on the outside looking in and everybody else's perspective, Papoose was a good dude. Held her down for 6 years, and while she was locked up, praised her when she came home, celebrated her um, publicly, and did things and went over the top on a lot of things. I'd parlay that to the Jeezy situation. Jeezy took a woman against his own community because he received a lot of backlash for going outside of his community to marry that woman of less economic status, built her, brought her into his life, and then now they're getting married off of cultural differences of what we hearing.
Separated.
Now, according to news, there's no tales of infidelity in these men. So to me, these would be examples of good men. Now, if Papoose is still subject to being publicly humiliated in the way that he is, and Jeezy, who's provided everything for his woman and went outside his race and against his culture to do it, he can't get the last say when it comes to child raising and things like that. My question is, what does a good man deserve? What type of treatment does a good man deserve? Because if these were examples of good men and they was being publicly humiliated the way that they are, what's the benefit of even being a good man? And that's just something that I wanted to bring to the show tonight, because I don't know. I don't even know if it's a benefit of it. What do you think?
Listen, I don't have an answer, but I will say we don't know their relationship. But in the case of Papoose and Remy Ma, it was well celebrated, and they were very informative. They talked openly about the relationship, right? In many interviews, she was saying how he was such a good man and how he was there. Like, she validated everything that people speculated, right? So when I see this going on, at first I didn't catch on because the dude looked like Papoose. So like a young, like he could be his son. So I didn't catch on. So I'm like, wait a minute, this is a whole different dude. So I gotta ask ladies, y'all gotta take an L for this one because I don't see that much. If it was the reverse, I knew it would have been some chaos. So y'all got to take an L for this and explain it, because I don't know if sis going through a midlife crisis or what, but man, this don't even look logical. Like, how far you gonna take this at your age with a young dude? And but New York people weird to me anyway, so I ain't got no answers. LL Cool J.
Hey, listen, I can't answer that. That's a question for the women. I don't see them chiming in tonight, but I don't know. We can only speak from men's standpoint and say what we would like, but you know how that went. We talked about us just getting a plate fixed, and that didn't really go over well either. So I'm gonna stay out of that one and let them marinate on it and come back to us with an answer whenever you receive it.
Super Mario Senior.
Well, I'm happy you asked because I'm a man. And I can definitely tell you what I deserve. So I think that I deserve whatever I allow you to give me. I think in life that's how it is on every front. I believe that's why I hate when, and I agree, I hate when women say, well, he did this to me. Well, you let him, you picked him. I believe that sometimes in life we too controversial and hypocritical. You can't have it both ways. You can't say, well, a man lead. Well, Papoose, nobody made you go to the jail every day. Because I'm going to say, Papoose, you should have left. Because when Remy got locked up and everything was going on, y'all wasn't married. That was your girlfriend, and she thought she didn't think about her family, and she did some stupid ass shit that took her away from your family and left you stranded out here in these streets on some stuff that she didn't get caught selling drugs. She didn't get caught holding the family down. She had a bad attitude and went off and shot a bitch who owed her some money, being gangster. So I'm gonna tell you, I would have gave Papoose the same advice that most women gonna give they homegirls when they nigga get locked up. Don't be a fool, leave. But he decided to stay. So I always say, if I decide to do something, good or bad, I take whatever comes with it. As a man, see, that's the difference, because I have to only answer this as a man. So I feel like a good man to me should be God-fearing. I feel like he should set the tone to what he believes. I believe like it's no reason why a man should take anything less than what he says he should get. Like what Chris gonna want and what I gonna want and what Zay and what Horace gonna want is gonna be different.
All different.
Whatever you say you want in this world, I believe that's what the woman you choose should give you. And if she don't give you what you want, you shouldn't be. Period. Like that's on you, bro. Because there's no reason why you should be. I don't think men have to settle. Like I always say that. Like I'm never going to say you should go date this person. I think you should date what you can handle, and she should treat you accordingly. And one more thing, and I think you should know that before you say I do.
I do.
I got a question with this one. A man deserves what he puts out. I don't know how to take that, Nessa. I don't know how to take that.
You put good out, you're supposed to get good back, but it just doesn't go like that.
I'm about to say, so that means.
But see, I don't think the world made like that. I think the world is built off this. The world is built off people do to you what you allow them to.
Facts.
I ain't trying to be on every aspect. So I don't know if I answered the question, but that's how I feel. I feel like shit, a good man should be treated exactly how he feel like he should be treated. Like if you feel like,
I mean, like you said, the forward thinking, a good man should be treated correctly, or however you were saying that he feels like he should be treated. But I think that question really should be posed towards women so that
Yeah.
they can answer it, because we can't answer that. We can tell you what we would like as a man, but
I think that's what Chris
but
asked. I don't want to talk. What you asking? How should a good man be treated?
I'm just what I'm saying is this: we have standards, societal standards. I'm not saying that everybody follow them, but we have societal standards to how we treat women, especially good women. But
because women
gender specific standards of how we treat women. I'm asking, what do we do for men that's societal we have agreed on, and what do we do for the good men? Because to me, these are good men.
the same thing they do
treatment
Father's
that
Day.
they
Chris.
are receiving should be, to me, publicly denounced by everyone, by the whole community, because they say there's a shortage of good men. Here's a display of good men, and this is how good men have been treated. But I don't see as a community, as a collective, that we're saying that no, this is completely wrong, and we're gonna at least chastise the women that does this. But that's not gonna happen.
You looking for something that ain't gonna happen.
Yeah, because I think they set the bar for them though.
Yeah. And so what you were saying, so you got to set the bar.
We did that. They didn't enforce anything because they could not enforce anything on us. We decided how women should be treated. If we are in a patriarchal society, we made the decisions to open doors for women. We made the decision that it's not okay to call them bitch. It's not okay to hit them. We did that. They didn't enforce that on us. We did. I'm saying, what in the reverse, what have they got as a group that said, well, this is what we do for men, or this is what we don't do to men? And all I really want to do is highlight the fact that we have zero standards as a society, especially in the Black community, of treatment to men. That's all I want to do.
All right.
You gotta set them. I think that what Hardy was saying. Like I don't think that, even though you're saying the patriarch, how you say that?
Patriarch.
That's society.
Yeah,
that's society. I think that the guys are subscribing to it. It's what was the tone was set, and they just subscribe to it. But I don't think that the guys set the tone on the other side. So, like Hardy said, which makes what Hardy said correct, because you got to set what you want for you.
All right. Well, that makes way for part 2 of the State of the Union, Chris. Chris asked what kind of women to avoid dating.
It got me to thinking, and I figured I want to get into my date Dr. Mo. Now, I don't like to target a specific group, so I want to give you indicators on women of not to date, to try to avoid. First off, you want to avoid the competition women. These are the women that anytime you're having a conversation with them and you make any kind of critique on women, they're going to reply with something about men. These are the women that do not want to have an answer to a specific situation. What they want to do is just talk about men. They want to just what's it called? Split the difference, and that ain't gonna get you nowhere. If you go to the doctor for a specific injury, and the doctor say, "Well, what about this too?" That's not going to help that specific injury. What we need to do is isolate our problems. When we're talking about a man issues with men, we need to try to solve them in that arena, not parlay that and say, well, what about women? Also, another woman you want to avoid, the pseudo masculine woman. Here's the thing. I think you would do better by thinking there is no such thing as a masculine woman. There's only women behaving poorly. The traits that women associate with masculinity is nothing but negative traits. It's not any of the positive things that masculinity is, which that's all masculinity is positive. What they do is take these poor behaviors and make them and associate them with masculinity. There's no such thing as a masculine woman. These women are just refusing to be feminine women, which is another thing that has nothing wrong with it, but they abuse it. The third type of woman you want to avoid is the not all woman. These are the women that when you're having a conversation, unless you are 100% 100% right and know every single person. These are the women that's gonna, when you're trying to make a point, they're gonna say, well, not all. And honestly, she has no idea if it's not all because she don't know all people, just like you don't know all people. What you're doing is making a generalization to try to move the conversation forward to get a point or a conclusion or some kind of solution to it. What people that say not all they're trying to do is to try to prove you wrong and to add confusion into the conversation because they're not looking for answers. They are fine with how it is. If I say, these are quick conversations that you can have with women. If men bad, women bad, we need to do better. That's a quick conversation, but that's never going to solve anything. You want to deal with women that's able to isolate a situation and listen and not need to have every single 100% of the details to say that, to understand the full scope of the situation. Next, you want to get away with these women that has male friends. There's no such thing. Men, the only time you can be friends with a woman is when you either smashed and you don't want to smash no more, or you haven't smashed and you're trying to play up under her until she gives in. These are types of women that I think that you should avoid when dating. I would love to hear what you guys think in your dating experiences, but these are the ones that I like to point out because I like to point out behaviors, not specific women.
Well, they the ladies, man. I will say, however, last week I gave a red flag. Don't date the woman that says, I'm waiting on the Lord to send me a man. Number 2 on their list are women that drink Hennessy. Oh, it's a good time. But I tell you what, those good times come with a lot of problems, boy. So women who drink Hennessy are on the red flag notice list. LL Cool J.
Chris, you got to pose that question to me. I looked at that over and over, and I just couldn't really get the angle that you were coming at with that.
Like, what word in the question that threw you off? What type of women to avoid dating?
Well, I like women, so I was wondering, when you say that, which women are you looking for? I don't tend to farm or get the women that do the things that aren't pleasing to me. So with that being said, yeah, those are the women that I'm going to be dating, and it's a whole lot of them.
Yeah.
But those ones that my brother spoke of, they're not for me. So they're not on my radar. I see them, and it's nice when I see guys shoot for them, but it ain't gonna happen. You got to keep women, like you said, that you can talk to. That's fun. That's gonna get things done. Other than that, they just good to look at. I let y'all holler at them.
Y'all, huh? All right. Super Mario, you married, but you
Y'all.
are the wise one on the show.
I was on to say 2 women. I'm pretty sure Chris just alluded most of the stereotypical women that you could be safe by staying away from. Like that'll give you odds of having a happy life if you stay away from those toxic women. Then I'm pretty sure that you'll have a greater chance of having a meaningful relationship and getting treated, as the other question said, how a man should be treated. But I would say that any woman that says she don't want to be married or that she happy being single, I would always stay away from them women. Like any woman that say I don't want to be married, because that's unnatural, right? Because that's like a man saying I don't care about money. Like it's those are unnatural things for that species to say. So if a woman say I don't want to be married, even if she don't know how it's going to be or can't believe it's true, but just say I don't want to, say I don't. I'm okay with being good. I'm good with being single. I stay the hell away from them 2 women because they're gonna tell you that they trying to set the precedent of running the show. They want to be the picker. They want to be the chooser. They want to be the dictator, and they okay with not listening to nobody and running their life exactly the way they want to be ran. And if you a man, like I think you are, then you don't want nobody who you cannot lead. And those women do not want to be led.
Yeah.
They don't want to be dated.
Well, I've only had one that I said don't don't date, and it's the woman who say she don't like to have sex a lot. those are the worst. I know two people that have actually friends that have actually said that, and I was like, I felt so bad for the guys they were dating. Like I just can't imagine such a torturous place. So it's one of the greatest things on earth when it's proper. And for somebody to say that, that means either the box garbage or they just selfish. But I always say the stuff that gets a
Say
lot of
them all.
the show.
To add the hardest point, you have to always one of the top women to worry about in the void is the ones that say women would lead. I mean, women would submit if men knew how to naturally lead. You got to stay away from the women because just the theory, the sentence alone is an idiot sentence because you cannot thoroughly assess leadership unless you're in the submissive role. You cannot. Other than if you don't submit, then you can't tell whether he's a good leader. And you have never gave him an opportunity to lead because you never wanted to submit. Submission is required for leadership, period. So when a woman's saying that to you, if she gets to dictate whether what's the right way of leading and how you should do it, then she's actually the leader. You're just the manager here. She sets the rules, she sets the bar, she tells you what's right. And then the thing you got to think, her reasoning with right is the foundation of that is her feelings. So how you make her feel at that point in time, she then tells you relays whether it's right or wrong. She never gives you a bulletproof plan of what's the right way of leading before leading. She's had this thought in her mind, and so when you do something that is unfavorable to her, she's going to then trying to say she's going to then start to critique your leadership. So you never want to you want to all at all costs avoid women that say stuff like that because it's an asinine statement and it's completely untrue. To have a man thinking that, oh, I'm doing something wrong, that's the reason why she doesn't submit. No, brother, she just don't want to submit. That's just how that woman is, and that's how a lot of women is. And you have to make that exception. Women that submit, they submit naturally, whether or not. I've seen so many women complain about being in relationships, doing all they can to a sorry ass dude. That's a woman that submits regardless. He didn't have to display some great form of leadership. She submits regardless, period. So those are the women that's truthful when they say, those are the women that are truthful that they will submit because that's just the kind of woman she is. The women that unwilling to submit is the ones that says, I would submit conditionally. Those conditional submission women, stay away from them.
Now,
I
you know
won't.
what, Chris? I was really confused because see, I didn't know what kind of dating you were talking about. You were dating for the long term. Usually, you talking about dating to smash. So
We all do
that
that.
totally
Everybody
blew
date
me.
to smash. Nobody date to not smash.
But that's
It's a part of it.
okay. So you going for the long haul? It's
Is
real form
is
before
smashing included?
smashing from the gate.
But then
But
that's we
you
all
started
let's
talking
be
that
on the same page
relationship
then.
talk. Boy,
Oh,
that was
you
different
guys
for me.
always seem to separate me when you are the same guy, and I'm never gonna let y'all do it. You and Derek Barnes, you're never gonna do that. You guys are the same guy.
Hey Chris, I will say you had two questions, but I will say this, and maybe it's to your credit. I did a show one time where a woman was saying that she'll get into her feminine energy when the man's in his masculine. And one of my people cleaned up and said, like, no, a man's like what I deem what she gauges as not being masculine shouldn't stop her from being in her feminine energy. Like I think I'm gonna be a man no matter if you a woman or not, and you should be a woman whether he's been a man or not. So I always think that's one of those flags that people do need to recognize. Like there's a big one.
That's
Chris, you
like
had
you
two
walking
questions.
around with your hand with your wrist turned and said, "I'm just waiting on a woman to be feminine, and then I'll be masculine." That's some bullshit. Dog, y'all got you. We have to pay attention to what women say because it's all bullshit. That's not what it is. You must once you listen to that shit, you gotta filter it through your brain and say, "Oh, that's some bullshit." She don't know what you're talking about. She's never ever. No woman can tell you how to properly lead when they're not a man, they're looking for leadership, and they have never had to lead a woman. They cannot tell you how to properly lead because they don't have any experience doing it.
All right. Chris Gandy, do you believe there's a good Vanessa? Two questions before we go, Chris. Do you even believe there's a good woman out there? And someone asked, why aren't you married?
Well, I think good and bad is subjective, so I don't go into that good and bad. I just want a respectful woman, a woman that that we can have a conversation and it's not adversarial all the time. I appreciate any woman's ideals, but I'm a fact and evidence based guy. So if you want to have a conversation with me and it's about your feelings and it's solely about your feelings, we're gonna have an issue with communicating. Um, as far as good, I don't know. I have no idea what's good. I know what I don't want. I don't want a slut. I don't want a loud,
That's amazing.
disrespectful woman. I don't want a woman that I have to that in competition with me that believes that she's the same and equal to me. Because though anytime the woman believes that she's same and equal, what they're really saying is, I want all the benefits of mass that a man receives in society without any of the responsibilities. I want to I want to I want to be able to hold, and then women and then men love me for it in the same way men get the whole and it gives them more women. It just doesn't work that way. That's because men and women are not asymmetrical. But what happens a lot of times is women want any perceived benefits of masculinity and being a man without the actual responsibilities that come with it or the backlash that comes with a man. All my life we've been called dogs. All my life we've been called cheaters. My whole life we've been called that. Now, when women do the same behaviors, they're not societal labeled as that. See, that's the difference. Yes, it's perceived that we get to do these things, but we've carried the dog tag, the unfaithful tag for a long time. We're just starting to fight those comments on us from years going back. So that's what I think.
All right there. All right. That's a show. Derek say, don't try and smash him on the first night, Chris.
Never gonna
No,
happen.
no. I'm not gonna do
Never
that.
gonna happen.
Please don't tell me not to do that. No, I don't. I don't believe that is a measure of the quality of woman, whether she smashed the first night or not. I just don't. Again, if you take your personal assessment of women that you smashed on the first night against women that made you wait, I guarantee you've had a better time, probably longer experiences with first nighters than you had with women that made you wait.
100%.
All right. You can currently carry the tag that
But
it applies to
so how
you.
does that measure up to your slut standard then,
What you
What
see?
you mean?
Chris? When you say you don't want a slut,
Ooh.
Well, a slut is somebody that publicly is promiscuous. That's what I think a slut is.
okay.
Now, one that's
Just for
experienced
clarification, probably
is a
because
little.
I know you
Is a
don't want
little.
that thing that
That's
Tuda was talking
the
about.
ones that experience is private.
Okay, so that's not a slut. That's just experience. Then that's the difference. Then you were talking about.
Well, we'll talk about it backstage.
Okay. I just want to make some clarification.
Well, Chris
Definitely
said,
don't want that what Tuda was talking about. That I don't like to give it up. She could be
man,
considered a good woman, but she could be a
yeah,
bad woman to a man. Because what in the hell is that?
yeah. Derek says, wait on the Lord, Chris.
I don't know. That's not. Look at this. Look at this, Derek. This is my name. This is the
Not the
correct
Lord.
spelling of my name. I don't have a clue who the hell you be talking to every night, because this is the correct spelling of Chris.
Hey, man, to each his own. I just wrote, he made me spell it Chris. C-A-R.
Yes.
Hey, listen.
My dog.
You and Shelly with that FIR shit. I don't get it. Shelly, every time you post a promo status about us, the grammatic errors are gone. It's perfect. But then when you get here live, you with the FIR shit. What is that? Shelly is so old. Shelly is so old.
Oh, man, listen. All right, man. This is the end of the show, man. I can't do it. Hey, let me go to the quick one. Zay,
Yo, good night.
All right. You gonna have to start wearing the shirt on air. Super Mario
I
Senior.
got my tattoo on.
It's a game on. It's Monday night, man. We better start going to Tuesday nights for our show, boy. I know tonight was a good one. Super Mario Senior.
Hey man, thank y'all for coming, man. This is another impactful show. Please, man, we want to do one of these shows when we get people to come on like a caller situation. But like you got to have a feasible answer now. You can't just come on saying no crap now. You know what I'm saying? Like we really want a substance based answer. I mean question that you really want to hear our opinion, not just come to argue. So if you actually got a man or woman, if you got something to say, or you want to hear our intake or
Hey,
to actually have a conversation. I'm gonna say, actually not a debate, but a conversation. Hey, send us some stuff, man. Send it to our Black Super Friends page, and we'll go over it, man. And it might be some good topics that we might can have some people on that you might have some points that can give us some good conversation. You know what I'm saying? That you might have some stuff that we ain't thought about, or we haven't, or can spark some conversation from us, man. You know what I'm saying? We would love to have that. We want to kind of conjure up one of them shows. So as you think about stuff, if you're mad, if you're upset, we'll take it all. I'm not saying it's gonna get to the air,
No, we won't.
but just give us everything you got in the
No, you don't.
merit. Oh, I'm married, but you give them guys anything you got.
Hey,
and
PJ, come on.
thing. That's it.
PJ, definitely come on. Listen, I'm ready to roll that show ASAP. They go for Cheryl. They go for Valu. They go for PJ. Let me see who else on it. Hey, we can bring Ness on here.
We need to bring Derek on there. This is who we need to bring. Oh, my boy.
Hey,
Yeah, well, that'll be
hold up,
interesting.
put that back up. I had issued a declaration that Valu should not be talked about or discarded. Now listen here, now, Aaron. You one more Eagles post away from being in purgatory. We don't play that Eagles talk on this show.
Cowboy Nation.
They beat
Yeah.
us in the Super Bowl last year. Before they go to the Super Bowl last year, so I don't fuck with them neither.
Yeah, this NFL season, man, is very turbulent. That Cowboy thing that Dolphins thing just threw me the hell off. Like,
Just keep watching. Just keep watching.
this,
But
this,
somebody,
Look
I,
like
bro,
we gonna see.
I don't want to prolong, but I must say I gotta give you credit because I talk a lot of trash because y'all have been trash consistently for the last
50
couple years.
years.
But right now, bro, I'm going on record. I have not seen no excitement like this since the greatest show on turf, bro. Bro, every time one of them guys touched the ball, Waddle didn't even play. But every time they touch the ball, it's like, bro, this man got go gadget legs to the end zone. This is crazy, bro. That game was amazing. If you
Down to
actually
the third
seen
string.
that game was like somebody playing a controller against their little son on on PlayStation, bro. That shit was crazy, bro.
I
Yeah.
think the kicker for me was the second string quarterback and the third string running back. It's like we already up on him. Oh, he gonna do it to him too.
18 carries for
Man,
200 yards, bro. That's
dog. 350 and 350. Like
bro,
I want y'all to understand something. It was 8, maybe 9 touchdowns.
no, it was
10.
Four in
actually
the air
10.
and
10
5
touchdowns.
on the ground. Just
Well,
saying. I'm talking about from the offense. I ain't talking about the
Oh,
defense side. Yeah,
I'm
I'm talking
actually
about.
saying this. I don't know why, and I understand, but the only thing I got to strike against that game is you should have went for that and broke the record.
He couldn't do it.
You got to do it.
I think
You
he
got to
should have
do it.
did it.
That's like you knock me
I
out
think he should have did it.
and beat me down and say, "Yeah, nah, I'm not gonna kick you." But beat me to a coma. Like what's break the record?
That's one thing I was mad about. Those two things that because it was 7 yards away, and then we ended up taking a 2-yard loss or whatever the case may be, and just kick the damn field goal, man. And I get it. Well, we got 3 records in there, but it could have been more monumental. But I take it.
y'all better live in this moment now while y'all got it. Shout out to the head coach who goofy as hell, but he's half black. So I got to cheer for him on that spat. He don't look it, but he's half black. So you got to support the brother for that. Chris Leo.
I would like this. I'm not a very religious man. Everybody knows that, but at the same time, I would like for us to bow our head and pray for Sierra's husband. I heard he may be on suicide watch for the last
Got
20
that
years.
70 spot.
Dangerous. Boy, that shit over with, boy. that shit over with. You are
Dog,
officially the worst quarterback in the league, young man. So maybe that's the
I hope,
curse of future, not the curse of Sierra.
I hope she build that young king back up. You know, we always talked about that prayer that, you know what I'm saying, the women say they pray. And you know what, Chris, you said the prayer that the guys need to pray for
Yeah.
him. But I hope she do everything. I hope she know what a good man is.
I hate to say this. Everybody knows this. I just got to give it. That man loves football. That's all he probably know. He's lucky to be in the NFL. And I heard a comment where she said that she's ready for him to retire. Like,
Let me. I was going to leave this alone, but what you just said, but both of y'all just said, I want y'all to understand this. To be great takes a level of selfishness. Russell was over once because he loves his family. I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm just saying he loves that family to a fault way more than he loves anything else. And you can't be playing at the highest level of anything and not willing to sacrifice like anybody who's been great in this world has sacrificed their family. Everybody. There's not one man in this world that you could say who has been, I'm talking about exceptionally great. Like when Russell was at his greatest, he was going through a divorce and meeting Sierra. I'm telling you, because you cannot serve two masters.
bro,
You have to understand that you can't be divided. That's just
when Brady got that ultimatum, peace out.
no, because you just think you got to go home. Now you can't spend that extra 3 hours sleeping in the film room or getting up extra early. You got to throw the football future, maybe future. You got to put him in. You want to read the book to your sons and your daughter. That's what I'm saying. You want to do that stuff now. That's why Brady and Russell is the true definition of what happened. Brady said, I can't do that. I can't come home and be great. And you seen his last year when he was like, I'm trying to go home. I'm trying to please Giselle. I'm trying to stay in the league to be the GOAT. He had the worst year of his life because every year before that, he was, hey, Giselle, y'all know what time it is. Time to go to work, clock in. Hey, tell me what the boys did on Tuesday because on Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, don't call me. Dog, I ain't trying to be funny. The first thing he said to Deion son is get out the car and get in the film room.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's what I'm saying. That's who they lunatics. Michael Jordan lost his wife. Charles Barkley lost his son. Magic Johnson called AIDS and almost lost Cookie. Dog, this shit is crazy. To be great, you have to be selfish to a fault. And I think people don't really talk about that as much as that's a taxing relationship on your life. I mean, it's taxing to have a relationship and try to be great.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I agree with that. Leo, did you have your closing comments?
No, I didn't. But I actually used them to talk about Sierra's husband. But
the prayer.
Yeah. Yes. Thank you guys for showing up on Monday to spend an hour with us, man. We truly appreciate it. We do this for y'all. We just have fun doing it, but we really do this for y'all, and we really truly try our best to help each other and whoever else is out there that needs the help. But you gotta want it. If you hear the fuss and fight and all that other bullshit, that's cool for the ratings or whatever. But we generally want to help. So thank you guys for showing up tonight. I appreciate you.
Yeah, and I got nothing for you, but I'm gonna go watch the football game tonight. And we out. Peace out.